Hello, my name is Dr. Diwan S. Raja. Today I will discuss about the anatomy of the sternal angle and also the transverse thoracic plane. The sternal angle is an angle between the manubrium sterni and the body of the sternum. The sternal angle is also called angle of Lewis. Angle of Lewis or angle of Louis. Okay, it is formed at the junction between the manubrium and the body of the sternum. At the Manubriosternal Joint, Manubriosternal Joint. Okay, we got the sternal angle. Sternal angle is also called angle of Louis or angle of Lewis. According to a French physician, it is formed at the junction between the manubrium sterni. So this is the manubrium sterni here, and this is the body of the sternum, and this is the junction between the manubrium and body of the sternum. Okay, here is the manubrium, body of the sternum. This is the joint, we call it Manubriosternal Joint. This is a secondary cartilaginous joint, also called symphysis. And at this joint, the manubrium and the body of the sternum forms the angle that is called sternal angle. We got the definition of the sternal angle. Okay. Then we'll go to find out what is transverse thoracic plane. Transverse thoracic plane. The transverse thoracic plane is an imaginary horizontal plane between the sternal angle and the intervertebral disc. Between the bodies of the thoracic vertebra 4 and thoracic vertebra 5. So this is the plane, this is the sternal angle. Sternal angle is here anteriorly between the manubrium and the body of the sternum, and if we draw a plane, that plane should go through the intervertebral disc between T4 and T5, and this is the transverse thoracic plane. Transverse thoracic plane. Okay, we got the transverse thoracic plane. Why it is so important for us? In anatomy, this is very important, especially in the thorax, the sternal angle and transverse thoracic plane, because multiple structures are present at this plane, and sternal angle is also very important to count the ribs. Okay, sternal angle is an important landmark to count the costal cartilages and the ribs. Okay, at the sternal angle, the second costal cartilage is articulated by a synovial joint. This is the second costal cartilage. Okay, so if you go laterally, you get the second rib. If you go down, this is the second intercostal space. This is the third costal cartilage, third intercostal space. Fourth costal cartilage, fourth intercostal space. Okay, these are very important to find out the intercostal spaces, to place the stethoscope to get the exact heart sound, and to assess the pathology in the heart valves. Also, these are very important to do the pericardiocentesis, thoracocentesis, the procedure of the thorax due to some pathological conditions. Okay, so we must remember that at the sternal angle we have the second costal cartilage. Second costal cartilage is articulated okay, at the sternal angle, laterally from the side at the sternal angle. Sternal angle, we got that. Okay, this is one of the importance of the sternal angle. Then we follow the transverse thoracic plane that goes from the sternal angle to the lower border of the T4 and the intervertebral disc between T4 vertebra and T5 vertebra. So, good to know what is the importance of the transverse thoracic plane. So this plane actually demarcates the superior mediastinum from the inferior mediastinum. Okay, the transverse thoracic plane separates or demarcate between the superior mediastinum from the inferior mediastinum. Okay, mediastinum. It demarcates, or the structure above the transverse thoracic plane are the structure of superior mediastinum. Structure below the transverse thoracic plane are the structures of the inferior mediastinum. So inferior mediastinum again will be divided into three parts: we have the pericardium here, heart and pericardium. This will be middle mediastinum, this is anterior mediastinum. So this is anterior mediastinum. Pericardium and its contents are the middle mediastinum. Structure behind the pericardium and in front of the thoracic vertebra from T5 to T12 are the structures of posterior mediastinum. Okay, we got that. So this is possible by an imaginary plane that goes from the sternal angle to the intervertebral disc between T4 T5 that demarcate the division of the mediastinum. This structure above this plane are the structures of superior mediastinum. Structure below that plane are the structures of inferior mediastinum. Inferior mediastinum has three components: anterior mediastinum, anterior to the pericardium; middle mediastinum, that is inside the pericardial cavity, including the pericardium; posterior mediastinum, structure behind the pericardium in front of the thoracic vertebra. So this is the importance of transverse thoracic plane. Okay. We have also a lot of other structures are present at the transverse thoracic plane. So we'll find out the importances of the sternal angle and the transverse thoracic plane. So number one is important for rib count. We just discussed that part. Then we have to know that it demarcates the superior mediastinum and inferior mediastinum. So demarcate the superior mediastinum from the inferior mediastinum. Okay, we got that. So the importance of the transverse thoracic plane, rib count, demarcation of the mediastinum. Then we go to the aorta. Okay, this plane is present. Okay, the ascending aorta ends. Ascending aorta ends, and does not mean closes. It ends, then it continued as the arch of the aorta. The arch of the aorta begins at this level. Aorta begins. Then the arch of the aorta ends. Arch of the aorta ends and continues as descending thoracic aorta. Descending thoracic aorta. Okay. So ascending aorta ascend, then there will be arch of the aorta continued, and descending thoracic aorta from arch of the aorta and descending thoracic aorta continued. So this ascent, this is arch of the aorta, this is descending thoracic aorta. Ascending aorta is a content of superior mediastinum. Ascending aorta is a content of middle mediastinum because it is coming out of the heart. The arch of the aorta is a content of superior mediastinum. So beginning and end of arch of the aorta are the same level at the transverse thoracic plane. These are present in the superior mediastinum. This is in the ascending aorta is in the middle mediastinum. Descending thoracic aorta is in the posterior mediastinum. Okay, we got that. The aorta. Then we got the rib count, mediastinum, aorta. Then tracheal bifurcation. Okay, so tracheal bifurcation, that is the trachea, like that, it bifurcates into the right principal bronchus, left principal bronchus. This is the point of bifurcation, and this goes through the transverse thoracic plane. This is trachea. This is the left main bronchus or primary bronchus or principal bronchus. This is the right main bronchus. Okay, we got that. So the tracheal bifurcation. Then we have to add azygous vein. Azygous vein arches over the root of the right lung. Okay, azygous vein arches over the root of the right lung. And opens into the superior vena cava. Just before the superior vena cava penetrate the pericardium. So at this plane we get this part of the azygous vein, which arches over the root of the right lung and opens into the superior vena cava, and that opening is just above where the superior vena cava penetrate the pericardium. So this is just above that part. Okay, we got the azygous vein. Then pulmonary trunk, number 8, what is present at this transverse thoracic plane. Okay, pulmonary trunk divides into left and right pulmonary arteries just below this plane, just below the transverse thoracic plane. Okay, so we got that. So if you go to the heart, the ascending aorta, the content of what mediastinum? Middle mediastinum. Arch of the aorta, content of what mediastinum? Superior mediastinum. Descending thoracic aorta, content of posterior mediastinum. Below the arch of the aorta, we have the pulmonary trunk. It has two divisions. One is the left pulmonary artery, right pulmonary artery. Our plane is just going above this bifurcation of the pulmonary trunk. Okay, we got that. So this is pulmonary trunk, this is ascending aorta, arch of the aorta. So plane is here, the transverse thoracic plane. Okay, we got that. We got the pulmonary trunk division. Then we'll go to find out another structure that is also cut at this level. Okay, that we will get the thoracic duct. What is thoracic duct? This is the largest lymphatic channel of our body. It is a content of the abdomen. Just usually it comes out of the cisterna chyli or from the confluence of lymphatics in the abdomen. Then it enters the thorax through the aortic opening of the diaphragm, a content of posterior mediastinum. and at this plane it turns from right side towards the left side, okay, left side, and it ascends and it opens at the junction between the left interjugular vein, left subclavian vein, in the left venous angle. So thoracic duct, okay, okay, goes from right side to left side, okay, and reaches the root of the neck and opens in the left venous angle, the angle between the left interjugular vein, left subclavian vein, okay. So thoracic duct is also at this level. This level, it go with the side of the vertebra, it is in the right side, then it turns left side, then it ascends, go to the root of the neck, opens in the left venous angle. So we get this part where it turns left to the right side, from right to the left side. This part is at the level of the transverse thoracic plane, where it goes from right side to the left side, okay. We got thoracic duct. Now, what other structure we'll get? We got the rib, mediastinum, aorta, thoracic, tracheal bifurcation, azygos vein, pulmonary trunk, thoracic duct, and the upper limit of the heart. Okay, we can call it upper limit of the heart and pericardium. Okay, that is also at this level. This is the pericardium. So this is just below the transverse thoracic plane. Okay, we got that. Then we get the cardiac plexus. Cardiac plexus at this level. Cardiac plexus. We have superficial cardiac plexus, deep cardiac plexus. Superficial and deep, okay, deep cardiac plexus and superficial cardiac plexus. These are present at this level, okay. One is just below the arch of the aorta, another is just below the bifurcation of the trachea, okay. We get this structure. This is an autonomic plexus. It contains sympathetic fiber from sympathetic chain of ganglion and parasympathetic fiber from the vagus nerve and the recurrent laryngeal nerves, okay. So these all structures are present at the transverse thoracic plane. It is so important to us. And we also discussed sternal angle between the manubrium of the sternum and the body of the sternum. And it is essential to count the ribs, because this is you can easily palpate. If you can easily palpate the Manubriosternal joint here, it is around 5 centimeter below the jugular notch here. You can palpate this ridge. This is the Manubriosternal joint. This is the sternal angle between the manubrium and the body of the sternum. Then if we pass a transverse, or we can pass a horizontal plane from this level, posteriorly it cut the intervertebral disc between T4 and T5. So that's all about the sternal angle, or angle of Lewis, and the transverse thoracic plane. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me, and please share the information with your friend, and please support my channel. Please subscribe me. Have a nice day. Bye now.